Okay, we should be live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jenna Ochoa. I head up partner marketing here at Justuno, and I'm really excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about how to nurture new customers with Facebook Messenger. So I can see that we are in fact live. I see some people joining in. We'll give people a few minutes to get in on time. So before I do some introductions, I would love to know where you guys are joining us from today. So it looks like we have about 30 people with us so far. If you guys don't mind dropping in the chat where in the world you are joining us from today. I know we did have some people have some questions at the beginning that were international registrants and were wondering what time zone this was going to be in their time. I gladly Googled it, and hopefully I provided you guys with the right time. Looks like we got Houston, welcome, welcome. New Jersey, India, welcome. San Diego, Melbourne. Oh, somebody made it from Melbourne, good. Australia was actually a question I had from someone, and I wasn't quite sure what to tell them, so pretty early over there. Thanks for making it, guys. Cool, well, go ahead and keep dropping in your location. I myself am joining you from Grand Rapids, Michigan today. It's super cold. We've been getting lots of snow. I feel like it's been snowing for weeks, so I'm in the polar vortex. And today I'm joined by Melissa of Diff Agency and Ben of Octane AI. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Melissa, I'll go ahead and let you kick off our introductions. If you don't mind just telling us a little bit about you and about Diff and where you're joining us from today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure to join everyone today. Hello to everyone that's joined the webinar. My name is Melissa Pegas. I'm the head of revenue at Diff. Diff is a full service Shopify agency. So that means that we do everything from inception to launch and then helping you grow your business. Our team is complemented by many different subject matter experts in our different departments. So front-end design, system integration, growth marketing, user experience and design. And I'm our head of revenue. So I oversee all things sales, marketing, and client success.
Great. So she controls the money, guys, so she knows what she's talking about. Great. And Ben, welcome. I know Ben had a birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday. Can you tell us a little bit about Octane and where you are today?
Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Ben. I'm the president and co-founder of Octane AI. We are the messenger and bot platform of e-commerce. And so just in the same kind of way that, you know, you and your stores have communicated with your customers over email, we enable over messaging. Simply put, like Klaviyo for Facebook Messenger, if you want the super simplest way. We allow our customers to do not just simple flows like an abandoned cart flow over Messenger, which has a higher open and click-through rate, but, you know, nurturing the entire customer journey, everything from, you know, the welcome series, the opt-ins, to the engagement that happens after the purchase. And, you know, we are a team that is spread across the entire world. We work with over 1,000 e-commerce brands, primarily on Shopify. And I'm super excited to be talking about how to grow your customer base and how to nurture your customers and how to build that deeper relationship using Messenger with these lovely ladies here.
Thank you. Thank you. And for those of you who do not know Justuno, we are a visitor conversion software. So a lot of you may know us for a kick-ass pop-up, but we're a lot more than that. And I'm excited to get to share some of those features with you today. So before we get into that, a couple things. I promise you we're going to get to the content soon. I'm going to go over the agenda really quick, and I'm also going to launch a poll. Can you guys see this poll? Just let me know if you can in the chat. Cool. Grovert, I like your name. He says, yes, you can see it. Okay, so you guys can just take a few minutes to answer these questions, and I'll review the agenda. So we've split this presentation into 5 parts. First, we're going to talk about why Facebook Messenger. So kind of go over some stats and see what the problems are. 2, driving traffic to your site. This is going to be a strategic deep dive. We're going to get probably most of that from the agency side. The 3rd part, how to nurture pre-sale and post-sale customers. 4th, a quick demo. I'm going to show you guys how to integrate Justuno and Octane AI. It's actually super easy. I probably don't even need to demo it, but I'm a visual person, so I'm going to do it. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what's next. So after all of these steps happen, what can you do to ensure customer success? So with that, Melissa, I'm going to go ahead and let you kick it off. I'm going to leave the poll up for just a little bit longer. So just you guys answer when you can and just listen up.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for going through the agenda, Jenna. So this topic was particularly interesting to the team at Diff because typically when we work with our customers, we like to take a very customer-centric approach. And so the way that we help our customers poise themselves for success is at asking at each point, how is this really helping you have a conversation with your customer about what they want, what they like, what they're looking for, and just general feedback about their experience. Effectively what we're trying to recreate or evoke is think of the experience that you might have strolling down Fifth Avenue, New York. I'm dialing in from New York today. And when you walk into a store, you'll see the beautiful storefront. Maybe there's something there that catches your eye. You walk into the storefront, and the first thing that happens is that a sales associate greets you, says hello, asks what you're looking for, maybe if you're shopping for a special occasion. And that conversation is really what drives engagement and ultimately helps to move the customer through the buying journey. And so at each point, whether you're driving traffic to the store, engaging about products, even after purchase, as you're keeping them in the loop about the status of the order, making sure that they feel safe and situated, that their order is going to arrive, following up with them on the status of the order. It's really all about how you engage your customer and how we're better leveraging technology to help you have a conversation with your customer and recreate that in-store one-on-one relationship building experience.
That's cool. And I'm so glad that you use that illustration, Melissa. I love to use that in, for example, trainings that we do here at Justuno is imagine your website as like a physical store. And it really kind of helps put a lot of your strategy in a tangible form. So thanks for using that illustration. I'm probably going to touch back on that later too. Cool. Now, Ben, I think you have some stats you want to go through with us that you guys have seen over at Octane.
Yes. So thank you, Melissa. I think it's really like we're seeing this trend. And I think what you're seeing right now is for the last 10 years or 20 years even, the primary way in which consumers communicated with their favorite brands and e-commerce sites has been over email. Emails represented 40% of the online revenue for many brands. And while email is going to still be a very critical component of your marketing stack, like that is not the number one use of time on a smartphone. It's messaging. Messaging has, like, the time spent on messaging has increased by 54% in the last 3 years, while the click-through rates of email have dropped by 45% on average in the last 5 years. And 9 out of 10 consumers say that they want to be able to communicate with their favorite brands over messaging. They want to both send messages when they have a support problem and receive receive messages when it's like that latest update. It's that, we call it a bot concierge here at Octane AI. Kind of the same experience that you have in store, but available online. And that's kind of where everything is going. And so if we go to the next piece here, Facebook Messenger is a really key way in which to get started and to really connect with customers. And it's huge for marketing and sales and e-commerce. And there's 3 key reasons. One is just the active user base. It has over 1.3 billion active users, and that number continues to grow. The second is that Facebook Messenger has special features where you can automatically message customers throughout your customer journey. So if you're used to using some kind of software like a Klaviyo or Retention Science or a MailChimp or whatever it might be, you're used to this. These are drip campaigns and flows to connect with customers. But most people don't know you can also do this over messaging, over Facebook Messenger. And that is what Octane AI allows you to do. And then 3, it's just the level of targeting and personalization is just possible in a way that's not possible in other platforms. Being able to not just send a blast to everybody, but being able to create an interactive conversation that actually tailors to the needs of each and every customer, helping recommend the right product for them or helping them with their customer support issue. And so, that solution overall has been combining Facebook Messenger and chatbots to do the same things you've been doing over email. And so that's Facebook Messenger marketing, retargeting, and customer care. I like to divide it up into like 3 main pillars. So when you're thinking about Messenger and you're thinking about messenger marketing, think about it in 3 pillars. The first pillar is grow, allowing you to like grow your audience. Like in the same ways that you do with email, you have to have people opt in some way to receive a message from you. You can't just message people out of the blue. And so there's like lots of growth tools, and we'll talk about a lot of them, how to like build up your audience. And obviously one of the big ones here with Justuno, we'll talk a lot about that. Super cool. You're going to love it. Second one is engagement, and that's that customer journey, that automated targeting, be able to send those messages throughout the customer journey. And this is more than just say maybe an abandoned cart campaign, which maybe you've seen before, but this is like win back campaigns, welcome series, upsell, cross sell. All of it is possible over Messenger. The third pillar of messenger marketing is support, because when you're messaging all these people, they're naturally going to message you back. And if you don't have the capability to automatically message back and to answer those common customer questions around their like return policy, shipping, then like it hurts the experience. And so having artificial intelligence and having the ability to automatically answer those customer questions is and should be a key pillar of your Facebook Messenger strategy. And so this is one of our customers on Octane AI, and Taylor, is a Forbes 30 under 30. He founded Feet Socks, has built a huge business, and he's seeing huge open rates over Messenger, 80% plus. It has been a major driver of revenue for his business. A lot of our customers are making have a lift of from 5% to over 20%, just depending on how much they invest into Messenger. Their Messenger list has tens of thousands of people. And as a result, every time they send a broadcast, every time they do an engagement, every time they do a drip campaign, it drives real revenue. They're doing a really great job at nurturing their customers. And so I think from there, I will leave it to you. We're going to talk about how you drive traffic to your site.
Yeah, so these numbers are insane. These are great, Ben. And I think for a lot of attendees are probably like, okay, yeah, that's awesome use case, but how can I actually see that kind of return? So don't worry, guys, we're going to get to that here just a little bit later. But right now I'd like to kind of step back and talk about driving traffic to your site. So before we can even get into any of this stuff, I'd like to get an overall kind of strategy perspective from Melissa. I think, one of the main pain points that merchants go to our agency partners for is that they either don't know how to get traffic to their site or they don't know how to convert the traffic that's getting to their site. So Melissa, I was hoping you could kind of walk us through a little bit of how you guys approach this at Diff.
Absolutely. And so I think a lot of the tactics that Ben has talked about have been really great for how you engage and convert, but an evergreen need that we see across our client base is how do we drive more traffic to the site? How do we widen the top of the funnel? And how do we make sure that it's qualified traffic? If you cast a broad net and then you deploy all these awesome engagement strategies, that's going to total out to overall higher sales. So, I think 7 quick tips for driving more traffic to your site. And I know that Ben's going to take a deeper dive into the 7th one. But first is optimizing your Shopify store for search engine traffic. You want to make sure that after you've invested all of these precious time and resources into building a beautiful site, offering great products, you want to make sure that people can find you. So SEO is super important, especially as we think about also attracting customers with content marketing. So not only the metadata appended to products, but also we see customers like Free People do a really great job actually putting content at the bottom of their pages to make sure that they're building that domain authority based on what customers are searching for. The third is to embrace influencer marketing. So we find that the social platforms are very popular for driving discovery. So if I am searching for a black dress, for instance, that's a pretty one-to-one search. It's clear what I'm looking for if I come through a search engine. On social, I might be looking for more inspiration. So instead of looking for a black dress, I might be on Pinterest looking for a great date night outfit. I might be on Instagram looking at my favorite blogger that I follow to learn a bit more about what they think the trends are. And so really embracing influencer marketing is just another way to drive eyeballs to your products and ultimately follow that through with traffic to your site. The next one, very closely related, is to integrate social media. So if you are on Shopify, it is super, super easy to activate that connection for shoppable posts on Instagram. So if you're investing all of this time and effort in engaging influencers in your social media marketing, you want to make sure that you're reducing the friction for the customer to get from that post that's captured their attention to the product detail page where they can learn more about the product and ultimately convert. The next is starting a referral program. Your customers are your biggest and your best advocates. I know it's really common that we talk about social proof and curated social content. And so we should really be incentivizing your customers to create more of that content, to share your brand with their networks, and to basically, spread the good news about what awesome products you offer. And so incentivizing them to do that, it could be through referral discounts, referral rebates. These are really effective ways to think about building community. Email marketing, again, super important. You want to make sure that you're embracing all of your channels to communicate with your customers. And then lastly, running targeted ads. And I'll let Ben go a bit deeper into specifically how you can do some really cool things with ads for Facebook Messenger.
Thank you, Melissa. So this is I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm biased, but all of you are probably running Facebook ads to drive traffic, and they're a core part of the strategy. But not as many people really know about the power of click-to-messenger and ads and sponsored messages. And so click-to-messenger ads are just appear the same kind of newsfeed like you see right there, but instead of driving you to the site, they drop you into a conversation in Messenger. And so with that Messenger conversation, you could drive people to purchase within Messenger. You could drive people to the site and get them additional opt-ins. You can drive different conversations. The crazy and amazing thing about click-to-messenger ads is it allows you to continue the follow-up even after they come to the site. And so you now have the ability to be sending them emails, to be able to get them to come back to the site, to upsell them, to cross-sell them. And so click-to-messenger ads provide this superpower. And so they're really good for a couple of specific scenarios. There's a lot of scenarios. One is just driving people to the site. Very powerful for doing that. And when they don't, when they leave, getting them to come back and doing it again and again. Second one, asking them a key question that you qualify customers with. Maybe that certain customers that are have a dry skin one kind of product versus customers who have oily skin another kind of product. So you could create a retargeting ad after they visited the site, figure out what kind of product they're looking for, and drive them back to drive them back to the site. But now you could customize the messages you're sending them. You can customize the pop-up. You can customize a lot of things now that you have this knowledge. You can even automatically create a custom Facebook audience based on this information and target ads based on that. And then the last piece, and you don't see it quite here, is the sponsored messages, which allows you to send promotional messages to customers even if they're outside the normal Facebook promotional window. And so essentially what that means is you could buy a small amount of ad and send really targeted messages based on your Facebook custom audiences. One example is customers who haven't a browser abandoned or whatever kind of custom audiences that you've created, you could send promotional messages to them directly. And so this is another way to drive traffic to the site and to learn more about those customers so that when you drive them back to the site, you can really tailor the experience and have a higher conversion rate.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds super powerful. And Ben, I meant to ask you about this before, in our practice session. But so you are saying that from these ads, you can actually through Octane drive that traffic back to the merchant's website, correct?
Yes, and you absolutely want to be doing that. And so you could see right there when they're doing the click to messenger ad, now you've got them. Now you could drive them to the website, whether it's the checkout or to a different page. like right in Octane when you're sending a broadcast as an example, or you're creating one of these ads, you just create a button and then you drive them back to like a key page on the website.
Got it. Yeah, that makes total sense. And that kind of leads me into the slide that I wanted to put after yours, Ben. But really just looking at, from what both Melissa and Ben said, a lot of you are probably running multiple channels of offsite advertising. So I didn't ask this in the poll, but I would be curious to know if you guys want to share up in the chat what channels you guys are running ads on. So are you using Facebook? Are you using Google? I'm sure most of you are doing email marketing, which we consider another channel. But the importance I wanted to underscore here is really just making sure that you are mirroring that message. And if you guys have attended a webinar with me, you're going to say, you've heard this a million times, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but we want you to mirror your offsite messaging on site. It looks like Joanne says she's using Facebook and email. Andy says Facebook, email, affiliate marketing. Cool. So yeah, a lot of you have multiple channels going. And the thing that we want to make sure that you do is provide a synergy in your message. So whatever ads you're running, whether it's the ads that Ben just talked about, some Google ads, we have the ability to pull in the UTM parameters from those channels and make sure that you're showing that stuff on site. So for example, if you are running an ad like Ben was saying, and then you click through Octane AI and come back to the site, we can make sure that whatever URL you put in that button information, probably, Ben, I haven't explored that with our integration, but I'm assuming that it would probably work that way, probably test it out afterwards. But we could pull in those UTM parameters and make sure that you're seeing the same message on site once you click through from that ad on site. So this is an example from an email here. We really love it when people do this from email. I also have an example here from two different types of ads. So here you can see this client, Shinesty, they do like these crazy, obnoxious like holiday suits. They can pull in the UTM parameters from any AdWords campaigns they're running, Facebook ads, anything that you're doing offsite. This is really powerful and super easy to set up. Looks like some people are saying they also do on Pinterest.
I will add that, yes, you can add the UTM parameters to any link that you share, in Messenger from Octane. You should totally be doing this strategy, not just for your click to messenger ads, but when you're sending broadcasts, because your number one goal, by the way, when you're sending a broadcast, and we'll talk about this more, is to just get people to come back to the site. Add the UTM parameter, like customize that field using Justuno, and you have like a really winning combination there. And then even our abandoned cart campaigns automatically add a UTM code. You can create like special campaigns based on these UTM codes.
Yes, that is super powerful. So I mean, that just leads me to this quote I put on this slide: segmentation gets people to make decisions. So the sooner that you can start segmenting your audience and understanding how those segments behave, the more powerful your marketing is going to become. And I wanted to kind of steal an illustration from our VP of Customer Success, Robbie. He is the guy on our team that handles a lot of our biggest accounts, but he gave an illustration the other day in a podcast of really like putting people in like lanes, like swimming lanes. So once these people get to your site, this person's going to go down this lane, this person's going to go down a different lane, and maybe they even have different end goals. Maybe they have the same end goal. But for me, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm a visual person, so I really liked visualizing it that way. And if you use this powerful ability, like I said, with the UTM codes, this is only going to help you put your visitors in their appropriate lanes and then drive them to the goal that you want to see. Oh yeah, go ahead. Somebody was going to add something. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Guys, before we transition to this next section, I realize I totally forgot to tell you guys to ask questions. So please feel free to use the chat. You can also use the Q&A, but if you guys have any questions about what we just said, we will either answer them real time or we'll take some time at the end for Q&A. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the next section. We've talked about driving traffic to your site. We talked about ads. We talked about how to get higher ROI on those ads. So now we have all this traffic on our site. Now what do? I want to kick it back to Melissa so we can get some agency expert advice here.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Jenna. And before I kick off, I noticed Florencia, it looked like you might have lost connection for a few minutes. You were asking about what chatbot we recommend. That is Octane. And we have the team from Octane on the webinar. Okay, so you've put all of this resource into deploying ads through Facebook Messenger. You've got people to your site. This is great. Customers are on your site. Now you want them to buy. So what do you do next? So here are some of our most winningest tips to improve the conversion rate on your site. So the first is to use high quality images, video, and Shopify actually recently released the ability to do AR views for products on your site as well. And so the goal here is to really recreate that experience of being in the store, and you can look at and touch the product and confirm, yes, this is what I want, because not only do we want people to convert and purchase product, we also want to make sure that they're not returning after. And so this has been super compelling when we see people adding video for clothes so they can see sort of what these items look like behind the scenes in the wild on a real person. AR is super effective if you're selling furniture. Maybe they can sort of spatially understand, how is this going to fit in my space? So this is really about giving the customer the information they need to have that confidence that, yes, I want to buy this product. This is the right one for me. Free shipping and returns. This is a time-old strategy here. Again, the goal is to make sure that you are reducing the friction, reducing the barrier to that customer pulling the trigger and making that purchase. One thing that we've also seen is based on site engagement, strategically offering free shipping to customers based on actions taken on the site or even cart size. The next one is time-limited coupon codes. This is about driving urgency. So very often we'll see customers come to your site, they'll look at your product, they may not purchase, then you have to launch remarketing campaigns against them. And so again, how do we get them to purchase and to purchase now? So time-limited coupon codes are very effective. Optimizing the checkout experience, Shopify gives you quite a bit of flexibility in terms of the different payment options. So if I'm a mobile shopper, I probably want to take advantage of Apple Pay so I don't have to type in my credit card information into those tiny boxes. And then finally, turning those maybes into sales with wish lists. So what we'll see is that customers will use wish lists to sort of bookmark products that they want, but maybe they're not ready to purchase just yet. And so what you want to do is give them the opportunity to create a wish list, something that you can then use to retarget them. And in a few slides, we'll talk about the different sort of remarketing and retargeting opportunities that you can leverage with wish lists effectively, how you create a new sales funnel with wish lists. And the wish list application that we recommend for Shopify and Shopify Plus is actually one that we've developed at our sister company Mod, and it's called GiftRegi, and there'll be a link to that at the end of the presentation.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and drop that link right now to Melissa, because we have, I'm probably going to mispronounce your name, but Hajalde is asking about which wishlist app you recommend. So Hajalde, I'm going to go ahead and drop in the link to GiftRegi. And then Melissa, one clarification. Someone was asking on this slide, I think I know what it means, but I just wanted to clarify with you. AR, does that mean augmented reality? And if so, can you give our attendees a brief explanation of what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. And so something that Shopify released in Q3 was augmented reality. And effectively what this does is to bring products to life in front of you through 3D models. That way the customer can really size up, examine the product from all angles, and even place it in the environment around you. So this is a great thing, a new feature that you can introduce that will really set your site apart. Yeah, so we can absolutely help customers get the AR views of their products live on their site. This is really great, again, for if you're selling furniture or maybe products that, there's a huge spatial component. It needs to fit somewhere exactly. It's something that maybe your customer may be reluctant to purchase because returning will be a bit of a hassle. So it's a great new feature available to Shopify stores. Okay, and so now that you have your customers, they're on your site, you've deployed all of these great tactics, they're purchasing, you want to make sure that you're building a long-standing relationship with your customers. So it's not one and done, you purchase something great, see you later. You want to make sure that you're continuing to build that relationship with your customers. Your customers are your most valuable assets. Again, what we want to do is increase customer lifetime value, increase average order value, but also really use your customers as your advocates. Referrals are very powerful in terms of driving subsequent traffic and sales to your stores. And so what does it really mean to nurture your customers? We've really broken this down into 4 key areas. So the first is to educate your subscribers. Every brand has a great story. Every product has a strong need behind it. And so don't take that for granted. You are the expert on your product. Your customers may not be. So educate them on the needs, educate them on the problem that you're solving, this deep-seated need or desire that you fulfill. Tell them your brand story. Aside from the great products you offer, why they should feel super excited about aligning themselves with your brand. We're seeing a rise in conscious consumerism. People are just as excited about great brands as they are about great products. Finally, reward loyalty. If you have a customer who's purchasing frequently, introduce a loyalty program. This could be as simple as maybe early access to new items. It could be access to special releases, different marketing promotions. And then finally, don't stop engaging your customers. So engage them based on site behavior. And this really plays into your remarketing and retargeting campaigns as well. Are they always looking at a specific product category? Are they always looking at your new arrivals? Is there a place in the funnel where they get stuck? Is there some nuance to their behavior? And then how do you programmatically sense and respond to that? So again, your customers are your most valuable asset. And so really think holistically about their relationship with your site, with your brand, and how you can continue to move them through that funnel and drive them to make repeat purchases.
Great, that sounds good. Those are some good tips, I think, to start trying to understand exactly what segmentation is and what that means for you. I would be interested for our attendees if you guys feel like sharing how comfortable you are with segmentation on your site and how well you feel like you understand what Melissa just explained. If you're engaging in any of those activities, just go ahead and feel free to share up in the chat so we can understand what you're currently doing on your e-commerce site. Okay, now Ben, I think we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of actually how Octane works. So I will let you take it from here.
Awesome. So as you may remember from those 3 pillars I talked about at the beginning, grow, engage, and support. The number 1 is always about grow. You need to get people to opt in some way for messages. One of those super powerful, very key ways to do it is using the send a messenger checkbox. And so the send a messenger checkbox, what it does is it's a Facebook plugin that automatically detects the Facebook account of the person browsing the site, even if, for example, they've never connected their Facebook account to the store. They don't need to. It's detecting it through the Facebook Open Graph. And so it'll show their name, and if they have that box checked, when they click any kind of submission button, whether it's the sign up button or the add to cart button or something else like that, they will be opted in for messages. And so then you'll be able to send a message, whether it's an abandoned cart message or an initial welcome series. Your goal is to get them to have that box checked and to click sign up. And so with Octane AI, we automatically add it to some pieces of the journey, like the under the add to cart buttons and at the order confirmation stage. But one really powerful way is adding it to your to your Justuno intent. And so adding it to all your Justuno forms, being able to get the double whammy of email and messenger opt-ins at the same time. And I'm going to leave it to Justuno to talk about the amazing opt-in rates and how you actually make that connection so you can add messenger to your email. And just the last note from me, there's no reason you wouldn't do this, because there's zero downside while just getting more of those opt-ins. It's the same kind of thing of you're leaving money on the table if you're not getting opt-ins for both messenger and email in the same time. So now we're going to teach you how to do it.
Yeah, it's super easy to set up, guys. I have to be honest, I waited till the 9th hour to actually test our integration, right before this webinar. And I was so shocked at it's super easy to set up. So there is no reason you shouldn't do this. Before I transition, Ben, I do have a question I see here in the Q&A. Kelly Cameron asks, can you add this to MailChimp as well? I'm not sure. Kelly, maybe we can table this to the Q&A, but maybe you're asking, Justuno does integrate with MailChimp. So if you're asking about that integration, yes. And then Octane's integration is simply an add-on to that. So maybe with my demo right now, I think it might answer your question. But first, as you can see, Ben has an example of what this might look like on Justuno. Let's see exactly what we're seeing right now. So I asked my team to do a data pull for a 30-day period of what we're seeing with our Facebook Messenger integrations. And right now we're seeing an average of a 34% opt-in rate. That means people who are opting into email and clicking that little checkbox to opt in to Messenger. So basically you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. You're getting both channels populated. So what I want to do right now is show you how to connect these two things. And like I said, it's super easy. So I'm going to hop out here. And I'm not going to build the whole promo today. A lot of you are probably Justuno users, so I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I've already got one pre-built. So here you can see I'm inside the design canvas, and right now I have an offer set up, and I have the first name field and email address to make that as easy as possible. You could even just go with email if you wanted to. I have my submission button, my CTA here to get the discount now. And then here I have the send to messenger button. So you can see when you click on this, oops, sorry, let me go. Let me show you first where to find it. So if this was not there, here in the design canvas, you can simply go over here to plugins. That's where it lives. You're going to click on plugins, and we have a bunch of different plugins you can use on your promotions. But here, you'll just simply select the send to messenger. Super easy. Check that, and this is what you're going to see. Now, over here on the right, you're going to have a few options. Here under integration type is where you're going to select the actual Facebook Messenger bot that you're using. So I have Octane AI selected, and that's it. You don't have to do anything. We don't need you to log into Octane AI. As Ben was explaining earlier, it kind of just goes off of automatically recognizing code that is live on the site. So that's where my mind was kind of blown. I was like, pinging my technical people on Slack, like, hey, how do I verify this is correct? But it just actually works by recognizing the code. So you just set it and forget it, literally. You can choose the size, the skin, stuff like this, and then you're good to go. Now, we can't preview it here live. Like you saw, I got an error message, and you have to just put it live and then preview it on your store. So I've got a Shopify dummy store up right here, and you can see now what this looks like live. My Facebook profile picture is populating. I can click send to messenger. And once I opt in, I tested this yesterday. Once I opt in, then I just get a message from the page. So I was using a Justuno test page. So it just came from that page. But Ben, I guess you could probably be a little bit more clear. Once you do click send to messenger, the user has the ability to customize the message that then this person receives, correct?
Correct.
Cool. So that's where I'm saying you guys can get super creative. Ben went through a bunch of use cases, but if you did eventually then want to redirect traffic back to your site, that's where you can drop in links with UTM parameters, and you can hopefully kind of see now as we're talking how this illustrates out this super personal marketing loop. So that's how we connected. I have not been paying attention to the chat. So if you guys have questions about that, about how to integrate, we can talk more about that at the end. Okay, Ben, I'm going to give it back to you. And let's get into some other use cases with Octane.
Oh, hello, everybody. So now we're going to get into some of the fun stuff. Some of the these are just a few of the ways that you could nurture customers, especially before they make a purchase or you're trying to drive a repeat purchase. And so I'm just going to talk about a series of different kinds of cool campaigns and cool things that you could do with Octane AI, with Facebook Messenger that maybe you didn't know about, or that giving you some advice on that. The first one is, I love this feature. We call it comment capture here at Octane AI. It allows you to create a special type of Facebook post where anybody who comments on it automatically receives a message from your Facebook page. And if they respond back, they become a follower, and then you can go into that journey of driving people to the site and your same customer journey that you are going to be doing over Messenger. And so two things that work really well for a comment capture campaign are either like super small giveaways, like in this case is an apartment 2B giveaway that they did where they gave away a throw, or by doing a poll where you're asking like, which of these is your favorite and picking colors. And you could drive a lot of people that way. So comment capture campaign, super cool. Do a boosted post with it. You'll reach an even larger audience. To the next one, broadcasts, targeted messages to customers. So simply put, sending a broadcast to customers with literally will just vibrate the phones of hundreds, if not thousands of your customers. It is more powerful than an email newsletter in that way. So you can like get them directly for like a major promotion. It's President's Day coming soon. It's a major sale, something like that, and drive real sales and see how much it's driving. You don't have to send it to everybody. You can create different variations where you send it only to your male customers, your female customers, only to customers who've made one purchase, customers who've never made a purchase. You can really target and segment even by the information you've learned by asking them questions. And so powerful broadcasts, like super powerful. You want to be sending those to all the customers that are following your Messenger and Octane AI experience. And this is like an example of that, like sending like a holiday and targeted message. So this is like one for Black Friday. I suggest one for President's Day if you are using Messenger platform, you're using Octane now. Continuing that kind of idea. Another way in which you use it not just to sell, but also to get engagement. So one thing you could do with Messenger that's really cool is community engagement, where you ask questions and you gain more information. One thing you can do is ask people to send in rich media, videos or photos. So we've seen actually some of our customers do this and be super successful. And this is one from Verkeller Boutique. They're one of our earliest customers where they like asked people to send the selfies. And that was really able to drive, like people sent hundreds of their selfies to like of them in in their clothing. And they use that in their marketing, and that like built a lot of relationship. And then you can also drive people to join your community that way.
That's super cool. I love it when brands actually get people to submit stuff. I think the marketing term for that is UGC, user generated content. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong, Ben. But yeah, that's really great. I would love to know if any of our attendees have tried that strategy with anything, just trying to get people to submit pictures of your product. Okay, sorry, I just had to interject that question.
Yes. Before continuing, I'm going to answer John's question because you talked about how you build your Messenger subscriber base. Great. Same thing. Like all the ways you're going to do it with email. You're going to have a pop-up. You're going to be using Justuno to get people to opt in. You're going to be using Facebook Messenger ads to get people to opt in. You're going to be putting that checkbox on the order confirmation and the add to cart stage. You're going to get people to just directly go to the bot for help and customer support. Any of those different ways are ways to get people to opt in. Think all the ways you could do with email plus a few extra ones. Anyway. Continuing on, we could talk more about that. There's a lot of cool ones. All right, this is one that probably a lot of you know. This is cart abandonment. So you could send a message to people when they add something to a cart, but they don't complete the purchase. 1 out of 9 of these messages, at least in Octane AI, converts into a sale. And so a couple of cool things is it's not just here's the product, but also people can ask for a reminder, or if they're using a product like Yotpo, they can actually read the reviews. And so, we have a Yotpo integration where you can actually see the reviews, and that actually increases the conversion rate because of social proofing. And so there's other additional options that happen in the cart abandonment stage. You can start customizing this, like these messages even further, offer discounts, super, super powerful way to get people to come back and buy. And it doesn't matter how they come into your funnel, as long as they're a follower in some way, have opted in for messages, they're eligible to receive cart abandonment messages. Opt-in. All right. So you can collect like phone numbers as well using Messenger. A cool feature is that when you ask people for a phone number, it'll automatically pre-populate it from their Facebook account. All they have to do is click a button and it will like automatically like share that information with you. And so you can collect a lot of interesting like information from the customers by just asking. And like we see some really high conversion rates for when you ask it for numbers and other things in Messenger. Referrals and rewards. And so, you're able to get people, okay, this is actually one of our newest things. We announced an integration last week, the first Messenger integration with Smile.io, the rewards platform. So in this instance, what you could do is, 14 days or more after someone completes a purchase, you can ask them how they like their product. If they liked it, they can actually reward them for sharing that product with the friends, getting people to make a purchase, and thus like using your loyalty program and connecting it with Messenger to drive a new level of like re-engagement and sales. There's some really cool stuff you can do with this. And this is also just like, this is like some new and cool and uncharted territory. And then the AI stuff. And so this is the ability to automatically answer customer questions and help customers find products. And so you can create interactive conversations using Messenger. You've seen these blue buttons. These are the quick reply buttons. And so you can create these different kinds of common answers, or you can create conversations to help them find products. And so kind of like as an example, if someone types in like, where's my product? And all sorts of variations are like, what are my, like, how many points do I have? The bot can automatically answer that. Or if someone needs to find a product, you could create an ad, or you can, after people, for example, opt in through Justuno, you could send them a message and be like, let me help you find the right product. And then they answer a series of questions, and then they get to the right product, click the button, go back to the website, make the purchase. Super powerful, super targeted, especially great for those first-time purchasers, and as well as like saving you money, because you are removing the burden of the common answers from your support team, making it so that they could focus in on like the really difficult questions and on the custom questions. And we don't even have enough time to cover all the possible things you can do. Win-back campaigns, welcome series, questionnaires, polls, photo submissions, custom experiences. There's a whole world of all of this. And like, if you're curious about more, we actually do teach an e-commerce messenger masterclass, where actually the CTO of Justuno has an interview on there where you can see our CEO, Matt Schlicht, interviewing the CTO of Justuno about that pop-up and that opt-in experience. And so you could learn more about all the unique techniques and all the different things. He teaches a video course as well as like a 39-page playbook. And we'll post a link shortly in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say I can look that up shortly, but Taryn, maybe you can drop a link to that. I'm sure you're probably on it. You've been great here in the chat. That series is really great because you guys can just access content at any time. And of course we're on it, but it is a really good educational series. We have lots of questions coming in, guys, so I'm trying to keep a running list of those. Please keep asking, but we're going to go ahead and try and wrap up here. So let's talk about what we do with all of this information now. Like, let's imagine we drove all this traffic, we've started segmenting, we are starting to convert. Now what do we do? Melissa, I believe this is going to be you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've driven all this traffic to your site, you've segmented, some customers have purchased, great. There's also that subset of customers who maybe they've purchased but not everything that they were browsing, or perhaps they added some items to wish list to sort of bookmark it for later. And don't discount that. Wish lists create a new sales funnel, a new opportunity to do all of this segmentation and remarketing. So the first thing is that wish lists are a remarketing goldmine. You understand intent and interest. They've taken an action to say, I want to pay special attention to these products. And so how do you drive urgency through wish lists to now the second time around get them to convert? Well, stock notifications are great for driving urgency. Are they more likely to purchase if you tell them, hey, there are only a few of these items left in stock, so I know you're eyeing it, you might want to purchase it right now. The next one would be targeted sales and promotions. How effective would a campaign that you run through your Facebook Messenger be to say, hey, here's this great product that you had your eye on. If you purchase it today or this week, we'll give you X percentage off. And then the last is understanding buyer cues. So perhaps this is just part of the way that a specific segment of your customer operates, where you understand they'll browse all of your products, put some item asides on their wish list, probably revisit those products a few times over, and then ultimately convert within a week or two. I know personally that's the kind of shopper I am, so don't discount that. Wish list queues, super important. It's a very qualified funnel, and then more opportunity to reinforce all of the great functionality that you have through Justuno and Octane to ultimately get them to convert.
Yeah, and guys, if you missed the link earlier to Gift Reggie, I just dropped it in the chat again, and of course we will send it out in the follow-up email, so you can check it out there in the chat. Okay, let's talk about what's next then with automation here with Octane.
Hello, everybody again. I am seeing all of your questions. You are a very curious bunch. It's pretty amazing. So let's talk about after that purchase, after that customer journey, they've completed the purchase. A couple more things. Order confirmation. Very straightforward. That thank you message, like thank you for purchasing. You can show them like where. Also, you can see right here, if I want to get updates, it's a very powerful way to get people to opt in as well. Send me updates on Messenger. A lot of people click that button. And then going on to the order confirmation message itself. And so you can like send this to them and you can ask them to be notified as for shipping. A lot of people obviously say yes. You have some customization options for this as well. That shipping confirmation message on the next side is like, letting people know that it's been shipped. We're adding even more, and there's even more where like eventually it'll be able to tell you like at different stages when it arrives, all that sort of thing. And so like just keeping them informed. These are super high value messages to your customers. They really like these messages because they really are curious about when their awesome product is going to get there. So make sure to promote that. We've already talked about referrals and rewards. You know about all of that happens afterwards. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you do after the journey. Also that win back campaign. And just like it's a constant nurturing cycle, right? You're providing them value for order confirmations and shipping confirmations. And then you're, using that opt-in that they've had to recommend products, to let them know about things that they care about, to let them message you on Messenger and give them the support experience that maybe they can't get over another channel. The whole kind of cycle and that old experience nurtures them and continues them to not just be a one-time purchaser, but a repeat purchaser and to stick around with you for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, the only time I've ever interacted with a chatbot, and I don't know if it was Octane or not, but it was regarding shipping confirmation and a question about a return with a specific brand. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chubby's, but I had ordered my husband something from there. And the experience was just so great that it really just made me want to engage with that brand only on Facebook Messenger now, because things got taken care of just immediately through Messenger. And as a consumer, I was like, hey, this is great. It's so, there's just less back and forth. So I've had a great experience using it for these types of post-purchase interactions. But anyways, take that for what it's worth. Let's talk about what Justuno recommends to do after you have somebody's completed their purchase. And now what do you do with these people? How are you going to continue to nurture your customers? So really, I think the easiest way to put it is that we are just always reinforcing to engage in using a one-to-one marketing loop, meaning once you start segmenting your traffic and understanding who those people are, please just keep learning about them and then using that knowledge to inform your campaigns. So that's only going to help you dial in those marketing campaigns to specific customer segments better. And so the more targeted you can get, obviously, the better conversion you have. This visual is just an example of one of our Shopify clients. We have just released a case study for them, which I can send out in the follow-up email later. But this is showing just an email for like a pre-Black Friday sale that they did and how they populated the code into a message bar. And then another more advanced tactic is to maybe start understanding your high value segments. So this is just an example of an offer that you could populate, for example, to your VIP segment from an email like, hey, we just want to, show you guys that we appreciate you. And if they add a specific amount of product to their cart, or if they add a specific item, then they can unlock a free gift and you can show only that specific segment, something like this. You can achieve that with Justuno's targeting rules. We can get super nerdy on that kind of stuff, but it's not going to happen today. We're almost at time. We're 7 minutes from the hour. So I want to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see what, I believe Diff has an offer for attendees and Octane does as well. So Melissa, why don't you go ahead and talk about this audit offer that you guys have?
Absolutely. So we've talked about a bunch of different strategies to help drive traffic to your site, help you convert customers, nurture customers, and then really the implementation of all of these great tools throughout your entire tech stack. And so if you're interested in having us audit your current operations and prepare a strategy for you on how you can implement a lot of what we've talked about today, visit our site, schedule your free CRO audit today, and we'll happily put that together. Looking forward to helping you be more successful and grow.
Great. And I just dropped the link there in the chat too, guys. So if you want to click over, there's a direct link to the free audit. And then Octane, I think that you guys were going to do a 10% discount, but there was maybe some specific way that people needed to do it, or?
Yeah, so 30-day trial for anyone who wants to just try out, because we know when you use us, you will drive sales, you'll make more money than you spend. But we are offering, if you want the Pro plan, which has the more advanced segmentation features, some of the more advanced integrations, and VIP customer support, we're offering 10% discount on the Pro plan. If you install, just email team@octaneai.com to go and claim your discount.
Awesome. Okay, and I just dropped a link to Octane in the chat. It looks like Joanne said she didn't see the link, and Taryn dropped it again for Diff. So Joanne, just scroll up or look directly below you. Taryn also pasted the link. John says, and if we don't use Shopify, I think, John, they addressed, if you can go ahead and clarify what platform you're on, and maybe we can answer that. But I believe, Ben, you said that you can use some features of BigCommerce today.
You could use, if you email us business@octaneai.com, we have a special plan for for stores that are not using Shopify. We are constantly building more integrations. Our primary one is Shopify, but we have a whole bunch coming for others. But even without that, we have a whole bunch of features that you've heard about today, broadcasts, this customer support, and others that you would be able to use today without having a Shopify store. So just email us business@octaneai.com and we'll go through it all.
Okay, that looks good. And Taryn dropped in the email there to the chat, so you guys can just look at the chat for those references. And then for those of you who are not Justuno users, you can find us in your favorite e-commerce platform marketplace. We do support Shopify, Shopify Plus, BigCommerce, WordPress. Basically, we're platform agnostic, but we have many platforms that we have a direct integration with. Mainly Shopify has our most robust functionality. So if you guys are on Shopify, you're in luck. We can pull things like cart value, cart total, items in cart, and things like that. So if you have questions about if Justuno integrates with your system, go ahead and drop it in the chat, or you can email me personally. I'll drop my email here, and I will try and figure it out for you. It's jenna.o@justuno.com. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take some Q&A. First, I want to thank Taryn and Miranda Taryn from the Octane team and Miranda from the Justuno team for answering some of the chat questions. And Taryn, I know that you probably answered some of the questions I'm going to go ahead and ask anyways. So Taryn may have already answered Ben, but for some questions that I'm going to ask for Octane. Grovert. Okay, looks like you guys got his questions. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take some time for Q&A. Let's see. Joy asked a question. This is a little bit more of a technical question, Ben, but she says, is the Octane setup in the company Facebook account and or in Octane specifically?
Is it in the Justuno setup?
No, she says the company Facebook account. Maybe Joy, I believe go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I believe that is more on the e-commerce platform side, correct? Because they have to add Octane as an app.
So the setup takes 5 minutes or less. You connect your Shopify store and then you connect your Facebook page from Octane, and then everything else will be up and running. You don't have to do any of the management of it on the Facebook admin or the Facebook business or anything like that. You just have to connect the Facebook page to Octane AI, and Octane AI is where you manage everything.
Awesome. Joy, I hope that answers your question, and Taryn probably answered it. I just can't find it. I haven't scrolled up far enough. Okay, let's look at our next question. So Jesse kind of had me laughing in the chat. He said, can I please have a personal trainer for Octane? And Ben, I'll let you speak more to that, but it seems like Taryn mentioned just your partner network, but I'm not sure how you guys approach if somebody needs advanced help or maybe just needs a walkthrough.
I mean, I think there's a great Octane AI partner agency right here that could definitely help you with that, named Diff. So I would definitely talk with Melissa about that. We this is totally like we have a lot of guidance, we have a lot of like educational material to help you like get started, and all the initial stuff, it just set and forget. But you want to go advanced, you want to go from like making like 10% to like 20% plus, like talk to like a partner of ours like Diff, and like they will help you.
Cool. And Melissa, do you want to maybe elaborate on that a little bit more? Like if somebody came to you specifically for, if they contacted you and are like, hey, I need help specifically with Octane AI, can you maybe walk us through what would happen then from Diff standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that we do is try to understand exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve. So which of the goals are you trying to, hone in on with the implementation of Octane? So is it getting more traffic on site, deploying things like ads, improving conversion, managing customer nurturing? And then based on that, working with the customer on an implementation plan on exactly how they get set up, how they get started, how they monitor over time to be able to level set those strategies and make sure that, growth is still sort of tracking up into the right.
Yeah, and I can't think of any better type of quote unquote trainer for any type of technology, because an agency really brings a lot more strategy versus, a person who just might be an expert in one thing. They can kind of help you zoom out and see really the scope of what you're dealing with as a merchant. So
and a good example there could be, very often we'll get the questions of, okay, I'd like to send sort of these trigger notifications, but what sort of visual should be in there? Well, one of our various different like departments is design and user experience. So also helping you create all of the assets as well that are going to be
absolutely
so in the conversion and nurturing.
Right. And just make everything more streamlined. I mean, I know we briefly touched on this in the presentation, but as much as you can synergize all of your channels so that messaging, yes, and what Melissa just touched on, like visuals and graphics, it's just going to look so much more professional, and your customer's just going to have a much nicer shopping experience, which actually makes a huge difference. Great. There is a question I do not want to forget. I see that Taryn is answering right now, but Ben, maybe you can chime in. Hajalde is asking, if we use Octane for automatic replies, we get a lot of messages in Messenger. How do we know which ones we shall answer in person?
Yes. So I could even like briefly share a screen to like give you a direct idea for just a second.
Sure. Yeah. Let me stop my share.
I will just show you actually. Tell me if you see it all. There we go. Can you see it? This is the actual an internal dashboard. It's Aerosmith. Yep. It's a fine. Aerosmith's a customer. I just wanted to do that. But so you can actually see it here, the messages your bot does understand and the messages your bot doesn't understand and how many times it's gotten the message. So the simple answer to that is if the bot does understand, you'll see it right here. You'll see how many times. You don't need to answer those. If the bot doesn't understand, you'll see it here. You can respond to it that way. And we're building even more stuff to make this even easier, as an example, with partners like Gorgeous and Zendesk, so that when the bot doesn't have the confidence level to properly answer the question, it will pass it over into your existing customer support system. So we're working on even more stuff so that it will do it, but you can see right here the messages your bot doesn't understand and respond from there.
And so I'm assuming this, I don't want to get us too off track, but I'm assuming then you guys probably integrate with customer service apps, and it kind of just streamlines that whole process.
We integrate. We love integrations. We integrate already with Gorgeous. We're coming out with more e-commerce, customer support integrations. We want to work with your existing customer support platforms.
Got it. Cool. I hope that answers your question, Hijab. I'm sorry, I'm probably just butchering your name completely. Okay, let's look at a question from Arlene. she says, my customers don't use my coupons. So I'm guessing that this question is probably more directed at Justuno, but I'd actually also like to get Melissa's opinion on this. But let me go ahead and just give you what I would say, Arlene, is that first, I would ask you if you've run any A/B tests, because that's the only way you're going to understand what your audience is responding to. You could just set something simple up, but a really easy test to do would just to be a percentage discount versus a dollar amount. You'd be shocked at how some audiences respond completely differently to just the visual of a percent sign versus a dollar sign. Image A/B tests also can be something that's really powerful. Like, are you using an image of a person? Are you using product? But I would say test one element at a time. Don't go crazy and test like 5 different things, because you're not going to have a nice control version that you can say, okay, clearly this thing works and this thing doesn't. And you kind of just have to baby step into those A/B tests. That's what I would suggest if you're thinking nobody is using your coupons. Otherwise, it could be something technical. If you think it's something technical, I would contact your account manager and go from there. Melissa, I don't know if you have any advice on that particular topic.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you that A/B testing is a great way to understand what your customers are responding to. I'd likely need a little bit more context to help you diagnose. So as you mentioned, first the visuals for the coupons, where are you putting them? What's the messaging in them? Are you using images? Are you sending them? Are they on site for timed use or one-time use? Are you having them, fill out something on site and waiting to get an email? Perhaps is that they're getting the email after they've checked out. So there's definitely a bit more information that we could dig into to help you diagnose, but a really easy way to get signal from your customers once we understand sort of the full sort of range of variables around the coupons is then to do a bit of A/B testing.
Yeah.
And another question I would ask is if you're sending, coupons like through on the site, or if you're sending them through email, have you tried sending them through Facebook Messenger? Maybe that would be more compelling.
There you go. Arlene, give an Octane integration a try and see what happens there. She says here in the chat, it is like save 20%. So Arlene, my automatic recommendation would be test a percentage amount versus a dollar amount, see how that goes, and then keep improving from there. So I hope that helps. Okay, next question. We'll just take a couple more because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Let's see, we had a couple of people ask this one, Ben. How is Octane different from MiniChat? Asks Joanne, and then John has a similar question. How is Octane different or better than other platforms sending messages on Facebook?
Awesome. So one we'll drop. We have links for this that explain, but you want to have the couple key ones why people switch all the time and use us. It's one, integrations. Just by far the most detailed integrations. We are we integrate and are the only ones to integrate with Klaviyo, Yotpo, with Justuno, Gorgeous, Recharge. It's a long list. And by far, we have the most in-depth of those integrations, and we work with everyone there. Second one is just that no one else can do all the messages through the customer journey. So for other apps, you're not able to, as an example, with a ManyChat, I like to think of them kind of like a MailChimp. They're a great piece of software, but they're not built for e-commerce and they don't integrate with Shopify. You can't send an abandoned cart campaign. You can't send a win back. You can't really do all of that seamlessly. You can with us. And that's why we often make the comparison to us, like a Klaviyo or other really e-commerce focused email solutions, because that's just what we focus on. We focus on the e-commerce use cases, the e-commerce customer journey, all of that. And so those are just a few of the reasons. So it's the integrations, it's the level of sophistication when it comes to e-commerce flows and the ability to really customize it. And those are a few of the reasons. And then just that our customer support team is nearly 24/7. You'll be able to message them. They have a little bot in the bottom right where you can message them when you need help. And we're just super responsive on all of that. So just a few of the reasons why we are better. There's even more. We're dropping the links to our comparison pages in the chat.
Awesome. So Joanne and John, I hope that answers your question. I mean, you've got the CEO of the company here taking your questions, so that should probably be a pretty, a good reason, a good differentiator, I'll say. Okay, this question, I think this is the last question that we will take from another one from Joanne. And I'm going to take actually, maybe Melissa, I'll let you take the first shot at it. I have some thoughts too, but I'd be curious to see what an agency would say. So Joanne asks, cart abandonment, there are so many ways to do this. Klaviyo has something, Justuno has something. We should pick only one way, correct? How do we decide which is best?
So I would actually disagree with picking one way. I would actually go back to something that you mentioned earlier in the webinar, Jenna, which is segmentation. So you can absolutely ascribe a remarketing strategy when you do see customers abandoning cart based on the action they've taken on the site. So, and there could be a few different tactics that I think segmentation will help you understand. Are they abandoning maybe because of price? If so, you can send them a coupon code. Are they, abandoning and going to social? Maybe what they need is a bit more social proof. So push them an image of, UGC, someone using or wearing the product through Facebook Messenger. So I don't think it's the right answer to say that there's a one size fits all. I would say first segment, and then second, ascribe those sort of remarketing campaigns to help combat cart abandonment based on that particular customer segment.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best answer and a better one than I was going to give. But Joanne, I was just going to say, I mean, from an immediate standpoint, the way that we like to talk about just, cart abandonment offers is that it's something that impacts immediately, that kind of takes away the need to then rely on a cart abandonment drip campaign. That being said, we do have powerful integration with Klaviyo where you can kind of inform those two technologies and make that campaign a lot easier. So I guess I would just say it really depends on your strategy, but if you're looking for something to kind of mitigate that waiting time, then absolutely just a cart abandonment offer on site should work immediately for you. But if you do have a great ESP, like Klaviyo is one of our top partners, and their segmentation capabilities are super powerful. So I really just think it depends on you and what your perspective is. But Melissa had some great agency advice there. So looks like Arlene is leaving us. Thank you for joining, Arlene. Okay, guys, that is all the time we have for Q&A. I want to go ahead and wrap up. We're about 12 past the hour. So for those 36 of you that are still here, thank you for staying the whole time. I hope that you learned some valuable information. I will be sending out the recording to everyone that registered. I will link up to everything offered. So I'll make sure and link to Diff's offer, to their wish list app as well, and the link up to Octane where you guys can get a free trial. And I'll have to get with Taryn with you afterwards to make sure I'm instructing everybody on the right email to contact. But yeah, thanks guys for joining. Melissa and Ben, thank you so much for all of the hard work y'all did for prepping for this, and Taryn and Miranda for manning the chat. We had a great team, so thank you all so much for putting in work.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you over Messenger.
That sounds good. Thanks everybody, and have a good rest of the day. We will see you next time.